Shalom, family. Good to see you all. Hope you're doing well. Well, I posted the goat milk shampoo and leave in conditioner yesterday. So you can get it for 40% off. So it is for the shampoo $14.99 to get the goat milk shampoo. And that's a 16-ounce bottle and it's also a feature product on the website. And let's see, the leave-in. Let me go back to that. The leave-in is 22.79, and this is also available. I have 50 of each available, 50 shampoos and 50 leave-in conditioners that are ready to go out the door tomorrow. So y'all grab it while you can, especially at 40% off. So family, we're going to talk about Americans that are living paycheck to paycheck. Now, when you go out and research this, one thing I noticed, there's a lot of different percentages out there. The lowest I saw was 62% of Americans living paycheck to paycheck. And the larger percentage was 76%. 76%. I mean, y'all, it is bad. I'm sitting here looking at videos today and people are done. Some people are saying they are no longer concerned about struggling to pay bills. They'll pay it when they're ready. Okay. I can understand the level of frustration, and people are trying to, do whatever they can to survive. It's just they're in survivor mode. So if it's the bill or you putting food on the table, people are going to make that bill wait so you can feed your family. So, I'm astonished. I think what gets me are the amount of young people. I don't think I've ever seen the amount of young people not working like I do today. And a lot of them are on the video saying they just can't find work. It's not that they don't want to work, they can't find work. Many of them are saying they, got car payments, their car insurance and things, and they are close to losing everything because they can't find work. And I mean, we always had young people in our society that worked. I mean, when I went to junior high school and high school, I went to school with students that worked part time in fast food restaurants, but they always had some kind of job. But now these kids are graduating from college, and sometimes 2 and 3 years go by and they still can't find work. And it never used to be that way before. It was one group of people that could get hired right out of college, and our people could not get work. That's how it was for many years. But it's not like that anymore. And one of the biggest complaints about paycheck to paycheck, people are complaining their salaries are just too small for their expenses. But they're in a position where they just can't afford to leave their jobs. If they leave their jobs, they end up with nothing. So I guess they feeling, this little bit they're getting is better than nothing, but it does not cover all of their expenses. And, I was looking at also stories where a couple with $100,000 and their family got a few kids, that's no longer sufficient for a lot of families, depending on what location they live in. And people under 100,000 are the biggest ones struggling out here. It's hard to have like 40 and 50,000 now and make it. Before, I remember like the 90s and even the early 2000s, if you had 40 or 50, you probably could make it real easy on that. But see, all this inflation that we're looking at today did not exist like it does now. So, oh, it's making a hell of a difference, y'all. It is making a hell of a difference for a lot of people. You know, I remember back in the day, it probably was the 80s when I was making 40K a year. And I remember I had friends that were making less and they just swore up and down I had a great job. I was making 40 a year. I had a great job. I didn't think it was so great, but yeah, the money was not bad for those times. The money kind of fit the economy that we were in back then. But money today, everybody is greatly being underpaid out here now. It is definitely different. So, y'all, yeah, it's slave wages. That's what everybody, but see, that's what these rich people that own these corporations, that's what they want. They want them to sit at the top and have all the money, and everybody else is down here on the bottom making slave wages. That's what they want. That's what they want, y'all. And it's terrible. And they don't care about the people. Donald Trump even tells you, he said it a couple of times, that he doesn't care about American finances. So he doesn't care what your financial situation is. And he's not alone. A lot of these wealthy people are like that. But they want a slave class of people while they rake in all the money. Mm-hmm. It is terrible. It is terrible. This really truly is a wicked world. It really is. Change is greatly needed to turn this place all around, but it can't turn around with the same people in charge, y'all, because we have seen they are unwilling to let go of many of the negative things that they do. And being that, that being said, you can't get rid of all of the wickedness out here because you got the people in charge that's not willing to make those changes. So as long as they're in charge, this is life, y'all. And it doesn't matter if another president come along. Another president is not going to change all this inflation. And I told y'all that a couple of times in videos back when Joe Biden was in office. And I said Donald Trump is not going to be able to turn all of this inflation around. And he hasn't. In fact, he's made it worse. But yes, it did start with Biden. And then Donald Trump got this economy and he just turned around and made it worse. And I'm telling you, the next one that comes in after Donald Trump, they're not going to turn it around either. This inflation is here to stay. This is life from now on in America. It's not going to go back. There is no going back. All right, y'all, let me share my screen. Let's see here. Cancel here. Please give me a 1 if you can see my screen. Oh, yeah, I heard Tyson was closing. I did hear about that. I think that's what you mean when you say, hold on, let me go back. CJ Field Meat Lab Company finally closing up shop. Yeah, I heard Tyson is closing. Yeah, I did hear about that. Thank you for the ones, everybody.
Like, I cannot do this for the rest of my life. I'm tired of being broke. I'm tired of being able to barely pay my bills, going into a job where I work my fucking ass off all fucking day to barely be able to pay my motherfucking bills. It just is not it.
So every now and then I'll go out on a limb and I'll ask my daughter's father for some money, knowing I'm never going to get it, right? But life is expensive, so every now and then I just throw it in there. But yesterday he decided to tell me that he lives paycheck to paycheck. He's married. He's in a 2-income household. All right, cool. But I decided to snap back because that comment irritated me a little, because I have 2 kids that I support on my own. You want to talk about living paycheck to paycheck, my guy? And I take care of my kids. Anyway, that's besides the point. Let's kind of spend 30 seconds and talk about bills. So it is almost August 1st, which means rent is due. My car payment is actually still behind. I'm a couple payments behind with Affirm and Klarna, which I really hate, but it is what it is right now. I am $250 behind to the gym at the moment because her first cheer payment was supposed to, or uniform payment was supposed to come out, and I genuinely don't have it. What else? Something else. And there's, like I said, there's several loans I need to catch up on. My credit cards are behind, and it's just part of life right now. I did apply to a second job yesterday, and just fingers crossed, like even something part-time would take a huge load off a few nights a week. So maybe, but yeah, I'm going to start doing weekly updates since I am using TikTok to help pay for my kids' extracurriculars through the Creator Rewards program. Because like the bills will, they'll be taken care of when they're taken care of. But my goal is to keep my kids active in their extracurriculars. So that is what I am using TikTok for. Any comments, reposts, shares, likes, I just really appreciate everything. And I want y'all to know I miss my kids. I miss spending time with my kids. So I have turned to TikTok. But anyway, welcome to a day in the life of Dallas.
I'm poor. I've been poor my entire life, 23 going on 24, and I'm broke every single week. I get paid weekly. At the end of the week, I got like $50 to my name. All I'm doing is paying my bills and then paying off my debt. I was an idiot in college, don't even use my degree, but I have a specialized job. I'm making decent money, and I have nothing left over at the end of each week. I work 50 hours a week. I'm just tired of being poor. So if you know any side hustles, second jobs, that would be great. I'm not trying to drive all the time, so don't tell me to DoorDash.
Does anybody else look at their paycheck and go, this is not enough financial compensation for the amount of bullshit that I have to put up with?
I just got a notification that my car insurance came out of my account, leaving me not enough to cover my rent, and I don't get paid for another 7 days. So if I pay the majority and say I owe my rent $50, then that leaves me with $3 for 7 days. And I'm trying not to use my credit cards because the reason why I'm so tight is because all of my extra money goes to paying my debt. But I don't make more money. I don't make any more. So it actually just leaves me like with nothing, to the point where I already buy groceries. I don't eat out. I don't drink like hardly at all. All my socialization is like me hanging out with girlfriends at their homes or apartments. I am trying to do everything within my means to not be spending, and still it is debilitating. And then I have to like ask my dad for freaking money, which is so freaking embarrassing. Makes me feel like such a failure. Like I have a master's degree and I work every single day and I work hard, but I'm good at my job, and it doesn't matter because I live alone in New York.
And New York is
I live alone on Long Island, and I'm trying to pay off my debt. And so that means that I've got just about nothing.
I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I don't do that auto draft stuff. They be trying to say, hey, you can save $5 or $10 cheaper because you let us draft. No, I don't do that, man, because I might not want to pay you. You know what I mean? That particular time. Or I done had it set up where I cancel it and they still draft it, and then I gotta somehow try to get my money back from them. So I stopped doing that auto draft stuff overall. I understand, man, but the economy is bad for everybody. I don't care what kind of degree you got. You can have a doctorate degree, man. Right now, if you living in $1 million house with a doctorate degree, you struggling. Or got 2 or 3 Mercedes, you out here struggling, man. Or just overall, you struggling, depending on what your salary is. So the economy is whooping everybody right now between inflation, the taxes, these gas prices, food price. It's just ridiculous, man. But it is what it is, man. We got to hunker down and possibly even tribe up to get to the next level. Let's move to the next one.
You can be educated, you can get a college degree and still not make enough to fucking survive in the United States out here. I'm not playing with you. You got to have a side hustle. You cannot focus on one income. You need to have multiple streams of income. That's the only way we're going to break out of this cycle, to be able to be wealthy and be able to sit back and have some generational wealth.
And you know, why we're at it, like, who's needing to make extra money anyway? Who out there is thinking one job isn't enough? I think there's a lot of people that feel that way. Tell me what you think. It's a sad reality in 2026 that working class people can no longer make it on one paycheck. The economy has gotten us to this point. If you're one of those people like me, tell me in the comments. I want to hear about it. Let's see what we can figure out. Let's find a solution. What do you think?
We can't trade all our time for money, and this money ain't even getting us by. We spending all this time get these checks, and these checks the checks don't even last. Let's talk about how the checks don't even last you 2 full weeks no more. The check be gone in like 2 days, or it be gone in that first week. It be gone in the first week. We need to talk about how the check be gone within the first week. Literally. It's honestly ridiculous. And to think like you spending 40 hours of your week, or hell, you might be even doing more time and you still don't got enough. You still struggle. That's why I'd rather lose out temporarily on some money if I know that what I'm creating and what I'm doing can lead me to more money. I would rather just take the loss in that moment and just struggle for that little bit, because I'm telling you right now, I done talked to older people. I didn't talk to older people in my family who just stayed working their jobs for years. And now that they in retirement age, or they can't no longer work because of health concerns, literally, like, they regret it. Like, they wish they would have did something other than just give all their time to the job.
I was working at Walmart because it was the only job that hired me in this economy. I'm a 38-year-old millennial that's been working since 2004 when I graduated high school. I've had a lot of jobs over the years, you guys. That was not my first and only job. I've been laid off at Bank of America before. I worked at the airport. I've worked for restaurants like California Pizza Kitchen, PF Chains, TGI Fridays, T-Mobile, DirecTV call center. I've even worked for a law firm, and it's always been the same. Underpaid, overworked, to the point of burnout, living in constant fear that you're going to get fired for what? Just to fulfill someone else's dreams, to pay rent for an apartment that I never get to be at, only just enough time to sleep and do it all over again.
That last video was funny. She got that old raggedy car, and the title at the top is I'm broke. So anyway, y'all. It's bad, but the thing is, it's not going to get better. And I think people need to figure out other ways to make money, because this government is not helping. Remember all the stimulus talk when Donald Trump got back in office, and people really truly believe this stimulus was coming, and I kept saying it wasn't coming. And see, oh, see, he got all that money. Doge found all that fraud and spending. And oh, wasn't everybody supposed to get $4,000? Yeah, we didn't get nothing. I didn't think anything was coming. Number one, I don't believe Donald Trump found any fraud, or if there was, it was very minimal. And I thought Elon was going to be able to recover billions and billions of dollars, and they said it was hardly even 100 million. And come on. If he was going to do stimulus or give us any amount of money, you would have seen it by now. You notice stimulus don't even part Donald Trump's lips anymore. You don't hear him saying nothing about giving anything to the people. Nothing. And it's not coming because this government is not really designed to help the people. I'm talking about the government in the state that it's in right now. It's not designed to help anybody out here or throw a lifeline to even a lot of people that are struggling. It is just not going to happen, y'all. The debt that people got is here to stay. It's here to stay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I said yesterday, I think the whole concept of Doge was to deceive the public into believing they were finding all this fraud and wasteful spending. But that period of time was Donald Trump and his buddies, they were robbing the place. And Doge was just used as a diversion. That's what I really truly believe happened. They freed up a lot of money by firing people. That's why Donald Trump loves those mass firings. He loves those mass firings because then it frees up all that government money that don't have to be spent on salaries. And it can just take that money and use it for something else. And that's exactly that's why he don't care if thousands of people lose their jobs all at once, because he's looking at the money. He don't care about the people. The people are expendable. He's looking at the money. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, he loves to say you're fired. You're right about that. But the only one that really truly need to be fired is him. Okay, Real Look, thank you so much for the 550 joules. Stay hydrated. Amen. Yeah. I don't know about where, what it's like where you are. It rained most of yesterday over here. And today you really feel that humidity. Oh, it's very humid, very humid. Mm-hmm. So, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and conclude. I will be back a little later with another live. I'm just trying to get the weekend packages out. So everything's going out today, everything. And that way it frees up my week. And whatever new orders come in, I can jump on those right away. So, y'all, have a wonderful, wonderful afternoon. And I will see you on my next live. And don't forget to pick up your goat milk shampoo and your goat milk leave-in conditioner. Both are marked down 40%. Shalom, family.